Hi, Patricia. Thanks for calling in. How can I help
Hello.
you?
I just wanted to know what is the best time to first apply for disability. I'm 53.
Mm-hmm.
I've been off work since July with a back injury.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scheduled for surgery in December, but I may or may not have that. I went back to work the beginning of October, 2 days a week. I'm normally full time, and I was told that starting in November, they want me to come back full time, and that if I have restrictions, I probably won't have a job. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have restrictions because I'm already having issues just working 2 days a week. And I did apply for long term disability through my employer, and they did approve it, but I don't know how long that will last because I have to meet, qualifications for that. But I was just wondering, like, where in the mix do you apply for Social Security disability? Would you wait until you exhaust the long-term disability through your employer, or do you do it simultaneously?
Mm-hmm.
And how many months out of work before I should apply?
Mm. Well, first of all, it's a great question, and you provided some very direct, succinct, helpful information. So thank you. So I want to make sure I understand this. You've been off of work since July. You're 53 years old. You have a pending event in December, and you're currently working 2 days a week. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And you are you on short-term disability that will convert to long-term?
I did not have short-term disability, so I was on FMLA unpaid for 12 weeks. And then I went back to work because I didn't know if I would be qualified for long term, but then I found out I did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I have to return to the doctor next week to kind of review how I'm doing it 2 days a week with the restrictions that they have. But I already know that my HR department's told me that basically starting November, if I have restrictions, they won't accept it.
What kind of work do you do?
I work in physical therapy in a hospital.
Okay, so are you like working on a floor where you're on your feet a lot?
Right. Well, we see inpatients and outpatients, and right now I'm only seeing outpatients, which are the easier of the two,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is what I was trying to see, but I'm already having issues even with just the outpatients, so I don't think there's any way I could go back to doing the heavy, heavy lifting with inpatients.
Got it.
And actually, our HR too told me that she was worried about it too, and she was considering pulling me off the job herself because she thinks it's a liability for the hospital, but they haven't done that. I think they're waiting for me to see the doctor.
Okay. And how long have you done this type of work, whether it's inpatient or outpatient?
I graduated from college in '94, so 30 years.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Great. And the 2 days a week that you are working, are you earning more than $1,550 a month in income with those 2 days worth of work?
What was the amount again?
$1,550.
Yes, I would be above that. Plus, also, I'm getting long-term disability is going to pay the difference between my part-time hours and full-time. So they're going to compensate the difference.
Okay. All right. And the accommodations that you currently have, I want to just get this last thing, Patricia, and then I am going to answer your question or give you my opinion. Um, do you have accommodations that allow you to do that 2 days of work that are significant? Like if it was a normal person doing that, then it would be like 3 days worth of work, or is there anything like that?
Um, I don't really know. The thing is, when my doctor wrote that I could return to work, he wrote the return to work as 2 to 3 days a week to kind of transition back to full time, and he did not put any specific restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
But my employer put restrictions themselves, saying for the first month they didn't want me to see inpatients because
Okay.
they know they're more demanding. But
Okay.
now they're telling me, because I've kind of told them, hey, you know what, this is not as easy as I thought. I thought I would be doing better.
Yeah.
And this time when I talk to my doctor, I would want to say yes. I want to if I continue, I would want to continue on with no inpatient treatments, but I don't think they will accept that. And honestly, I don't even think they'll accept 2 or 3 days a week of work, because I think the expectation is after this month, I either come back full time, full duty, or nothing.
You're either in or you're out, right? Okay.
That's what I feel like I'm being told.
Yeah. Yeah. What's preventing you from being able to work? Like, what's the limitations?
Um,
Sitting, standing,
so
lifting?
sitting, I can probably do 10 to 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And at least with my job, I can get up and move around. Walking isn't too bad. I can't stand in one place for more than like 3 to 5 minutes. Um, and the other thing is, if I have to lift, sometimes I still have to do some lifting. I had a very difficult patient since I came back. I have pain, increased pain in my back, my leg, that I don't have the rest of the day. And then that night, I still have that pain, and I have to medicate
Mm-hmm.
with medications that I wasn't taking before I went back to work.
Right. Right. What's the condition
So
that's
that's
causing this, Patricia?
I have 2 herniated discs in my back, and I have 3 previous back surgeries with a fusion.
Oh boy.
So
Okay.
it's from this back injury. But even the other day at work, I got down on my knees. I couldn't get up from on the floor, so I
Okay.
had to kind of like crawl over to a machine and like pull myself up. So I just have weakness in my legs too because of this injury. It's
Mm-hmm.
causing nerve damage in my legs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. That's all the information that I needed. Again, you did an excellent job. So here's a few things. For Social Security to apply for disability, um, the threshold is that you need to be working less than 20 hours a week and working and earning less than $1,550 a month. So your 2 days of work are pushing you over. So if you applied right now, they would give you an automatic denial just based on that, right?
Right.
So then that could give you some information to head down the, down the road of the doctor's advice, and if they want you to go back to work full time, and if you go in, and I'm just mapping it out. I'm not saying this is what you need to do. I'm just saying something that you could consider. If you go in and say, okay, well, if you want me to go back to work, I'll go back and I'll try it. And that try it could be an hour or a day or 2 days or whatever it is. And then you just document your limitations. And then you just say, I can't do it. It's not able to work. And so that could actually be beneficial information for your disability case. So then at that point in time, Patricia, you would have stopped work. In my example,
Mm-hmm.
are you with me so far?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then revisiting your original question, when do I apply? This is what the data has we've learned from it. Is somebody applies for their disability benefits between the first day that they're out of work and like up to the fifth month, in that first period of 5 months, the approval percentages, which we put in a video on our YouTube channel, are like really low. They're like single digits. And there's some slight exceptions. Somebody's had a severe stroke, or they've got like 2 months to live, and that's well done. Those are exceptions. I don't believe, and I certainly hope that's not the situation for you. So then after 5 months, the approval rates spike. They go up. And the national average is 36%. If you use like a full service representative, um, like the work that we do and a few others do, where they'll go in and do everything top shelf to help get it approved, and you can significantly improve your chances at initial. So the point is, be careful about the numbers in months 1 through 5. A lot of people are like, I'm going to apply right away. Well, you can. But the downside of that is if you've got a shot at getting approved at the initial application, which in my opinion, based on my experience, you do because you're 53, you have 30 years in the same industry, you've got physical limitations that prevent you from doing your job, not any job, then you have just basically thrown those out and said, sign me up for a 3-year wait because the percentages are low before months 1 through 5. And then it means you're going to get denied at initial. What state are you in?
Illinois.
Illinois. I'm not clear on Illinois, but let's just say there's a reconsideration there. So that's another 8. So you're up for like a 3-year wait. So that's my assessment on your situation. One
Oh,
thing,
I also,
go ahead,
oh,
please.
I was gonna say, I also, my birthday's in December, so that would be in the 6 months. I'll be a year older in December. I'll be 54. I don't know if that's not really a cutoff age, I don't think, but at least that
Mm,
would be a little bit older.
yeah, I mean, it does help, but it doesn't trump the statistics.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that would still be July, August, September, October, November. If it was after December, it would be after 6 months also
Yep.
of being off work.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you have to
So,
keep in mind you're still working right now because you're working part-time.
oh, okay, so that does count.
Yep. You're still working.
Okay.
Over the allowed amount. So so with the long-term disability benefits that you have, they're paying you the difference. So that would increase if you stopped work. And then that will typically, you can read your policy, which probably sounds super boring, but encourage you to do it. It's usually they encourage you to apply for your disability benefits before 2-year anniversary of being out of work, and
Okay.
they will pay you up until you are approved for your Social Security disability benefits. That's a typical policy. There are some that pay differently, but that's a typical long-term disability policy.
Okay. Does it matter, just another thing, if I do end up in the months ahead applying, so a year and 2 months from now, so when I turn 55, I'm eligible for a pension that I had before the hospital, like, changed over ownership. It's not a huge amount of money, but will that affect my income if it's from a pension?
It won't affect your Social Security disability. It's unearned income.
Okay.
So no. Mm-mm,
Okay, good.
no. So, yeah, I mean, one of the, I don't know if you remember at the Disability Digest, but we have information in our disability approval course right now that's specific for like where you're at, if you're still working what we would consider to be full time. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, we invite you to do so.
Okay,
Okay, good.
we'll do that. Thank you so
Good.
much.
Thank you for calling in. I wish you well. Please let us know. Keep in touch with us. Let us know how it goes. All right?
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, bye-bye.